coming to you live from the sunburnt country. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
But g'day and welcome to where are we? Oh dear. Anyway, I'll fix it in a sec. But welcome to the 123rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I, as every week, am Log Power Slave. I am joined by two men you can't see in Mylan Games and Real Time Sloth. Dudes, how the fuck are you doing?
We're not here.
How are you? You're going for a podcast record. Just came off the DCP podcast and straight into an next one. What have you got after us?
I'm going to just do a solo stream of me singing Destiny songs William Shatner style. That's the plan.
For 24 hours.
24-hour stream. I'm actually going just any other podcast after this. I'm just going to jump from this podcast to another podcast. Anyone who will have me. I'm just gonna do that. That's the whole fucking plan.
Fuck the William Shatner style. Do it Richard Cheese style. People equal shit.
Well, it's the same fucking style, isn't it?
People equal shit.
There we go. I fixed the fucking cameras. I'm not here talking to myself. It's fine. Don't worry about my mental health. Or do, but still. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been good, man. I haven't been playing a huge amount of Destiny, but we did a stream on Thursday. We read some more lore. We spoke about Guardian Con. I booked tickets to Guardian. Well, I booked a plane flight to Guardian Con, 25-hour flight. Yay! I just.
What is there? Do you have any stopovers?
Dude, some of them was like a total of like 40 hours just to get there. Some of them were like 10-hour layovers and shit. And you're like, I'm not getting off like a 15-hour flight to sit around in an airport for 10 hours or something like that. It's crazy, man. I actually think I'm going to miss one of my flights because I booked them all so close together, but I don't care. Like, I'm just going to be that dude that's just over it.
I don't care, he says.
As long once you're in the country, it's fine. They'll already book. Just get to the US. That's my first thing is get to the US, and then everything else can be sorted after that.
So when I haven't booked my flights for PAX Australia yet, but every time I go on to Webjet or something like that, there's a fucking 7-hour stopover in Brisbane and a 7-hour stopover in fucking Sydney. And it turns out that the flight's going to be about 18 hours to fly from one end of Australia down to the other because fuck you.
You fucking serious?
Dude, I could probably get there quicker than you can.
You could get there driving quicker than I could.
If it's going to take you that long, I could 100% probably drive.
Come pick you up.
You could drive up to Brisbane, get me, and then we'll fucking take turns driving down to Melbourne. Jesus Christ.
Come on, there's got to be a fucking better way. Doesn't Jetstar have flights out of Cairns or something? I know Cairns is a ways away, but I thought that was like the tourist hub of Australia. Come on, Queensland.
I'm seriously considering just driving down myself.
Get shook. Make a road trip of it.
Fuck that.
Just the pair of you in a confined space together for that long.
Chucky could like literally talk for the whole time, I reckon.
He could keep me up the whole time, but I mean, he would also try and go for a cheeky hand job or a cheeky blow job about fucking 4 hours into the trip, and I'm just not into it. I'm pretty safe. I'm pretty safe where I am, but I mean, yeah, I just don't trust Navy guys.
Hello. Look, yeah, let's not.
Look, I guess you were in the army. I guess you can say that kind of shit.
I can. You're right. You are correct. Well, Log's been on the podcast, but he's talking to people, and now that's two of the DDU hosts that are been on the main
DCP, yeah.
the DCP, the main Destiny podcast that people listen to. So I mean, we're going to have to look for two new hosts for the DDU guys. Because these two are too holly for us.
Well,
so,
I mean, it would be easy just to get rid of you,
any
Sloth.
changes, yeah, right.
Sloth's going to stock our podcast full of people who also don't play Destiny and they don't know what they're going to talk about.
Can I just do a show of hands? Put your hands up if Christopher Barrett follows you on Twitter and you've been on the DCP podcast.
Well, we really are.
Sorry, guys,
we really are. Well, look, we're going to be completely honest about the show today. There is fuck all to talk about in terms of Destiny. This is the skinniest twab that I've... Like this, the twab this week is so skinny that people are starting to worry about its welfare and whether or not it's been eating at all. So we'll blast through that in three. I think Watts on the DCP managed to cover the whole thing in 25 seconds. So I'm sure Sloth will step up to the plate and cover it in 5 seconds.
Are you ready? Riders up or whatever it was that fucking came up. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This week at Bungie, 5th of the 2nd, 2019. This week at Bungie, the Revelry is coming to a close. We're deep in the third and final week of our Spring celebration. You have until the weekly reset, May 7th, to partake in Eva's Tonic and enjoy the festivities while they last. After that, Arbalest will be available as an exotic drop if you were a player who didn't enjoy the extra activities in competitive. You can celebrate return in order to the May 7th.
But you can,
a rerun.
You can still get,
that's it.
No, you can still get the Arbalest. That's cool as an exotic drop after.
Yeah,
after
it'll go into the loot pool. The Revelry comes to a close this week to the screaming glee of anyone who's tried to play Crucible seriously over the last 3 weeks. And there's fuck all else really, isn't there? There's the Shattered Throne. You can go and watch a video of that. And movie
did you
of the
guys
week.
watch it? Did you guys watch the Shattered Throne?
No, it was at like fucking 5 a.m.
Right along. Yeah.
Well, within the first 10 minutes, they're like, oh, we won't be talking too much about the law. And then I just turned it off. Which is not very nice to me, but I was actually really keen to hear some more. But I think Mallory and some of the narrative team has actually done. Oh, someone tweeted me an interview. Like they've actually did a round of interviews about the story with some of the game. What do you call it? You wouldn't call them game journalists. It's a bit
journalism.
Games news sites talking about the Drifter. Actually, I actually haven't read them, but I did see someone tweeted to me that they've done a couple of interviews, so there could be little bits of pockets of lore around there. So I think that's why they weren't involved with that.
Yeah, it is a possibility. So they've also got the resolved issues that we won't really touch on because it's stuff that we've already talked about. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Destiny 2 drum remix by what was his name? What's his name? Where's his name? I don't know.
Full Metal Spencer. I'm pretty sure.
Full Metal Spencer. It's insane. It's utter insanity, and the his technique is about as perfect as you can get as a metal drummer. So go watch it, then go sub to him on YouTube, and that's about it. All right, cool. And we're done. Destiny, done. Cool.
All right. See you next week. It's been great.
Yeah, see ya. Thanks, guys.
Now we've been live for 15 minutes. I think it's time for Sloth to go into preamble 1 of 16 to close the show out.
Eat my entire ass.
I'll be there.
So there's
topics here.
Well, I mean, we'll get on to Borderlands because that was a big thing this week. Obviously, there was a lot of content creators from all over the world going to where was it? Seattle? No,
it was LA or somewhere.
I
don't know.
It was
America.
LA. Somewhere in America, and they all went down onto Gearbox, went down to Gearbox and checked out Borderlands 3. And I'll tell you what, I haven't sifted through all of the details that have been posted in various Discords and all that sort of thing. But it looks good. It looks good.
I mean, I don't have enough background knowledge to know what like Borderlands 1 and 2 was like, but I definitely watched a little bit, and I watched the event. They had the guys from IGN, I think it was like Destin and Fran and some of those doing like an intro, and then they had the gameplay reveal, and then they had his name's Randy Pitchford on as well. So I saw a little bit. I saw some of I skipped through some of the gameplay. I saw people's reactions to not Sweeperbot. What's the little bot called?
Claptrap.
Claptrap. People say not my Claptrap.
Sweeperbot.
And even I noticed his voice. So his voice is different, right? So I hardly even played Borderlands, and I was like, oh,
that's a thing. That's a thing. So
let's not. I don't care. It's not
touch
our
on
community.
it. Don't touch
forward.
on it. Nah, fuck you. You've been on your podcast. You've had your moment in the sun. Let us talk. So apparently the voice actor for the original version of Claptrap in Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, there has been. It seems that this particular gent, the way he's worded his tweets, he may not have been paid, or is there a pay dispute between him and Gearbox and 2K Games about him not being paid correctly, which is definitely not something that you would have seen for some game that has garnered so much goodwill over the community over the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Like, it's been 7 years since Borderlands 2 came out, and then even longer since Borderlands 1. So
I think it's one of those things that
as well.
We really don't know the inside of it. And taking what he said at face value, yeah, it does sound pretty dodgy, to be blunt.
Yeah.
But you don't know. He could be just a disgruntled employee, or you got to color it.
We don't know. So I just want to say this, because I actually was actively watching when Watts and Teft were talking about this on the DCP. Is that the three of us, we bring the Destiny news. I read it almost verbatim from the Bob, and then we have our opinions on it. We're not news guys. We see what you see, and we form our own opinions. Just for reference, guys. We're not journalists. We're not video game journalists or anything like that. We're just a bunch of dudes that talk shit about games. And by the way that looks to me personally, that there might be some issues in Gearbox.
Yeah, man.
That being
I'm
said,
just having a quick look at some news articles now. I mean, it's always hard to tell, but it I think the lesson with anything like this is, and it was same with like, working with Bungie and getting a contract. Like, I think you always have to read your contracts, and you always should be paid for your time, right? Your time is valuable, and I think sometimes this is like any job. Like, sometimes people think they just have to sign the contract, or they just have to do it, or there is value in doing work for free as well to get experience, but there comes a point where you have to go, no, this is my time, and this is how much I'm worth, and my value, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, if he has a solid contract with them for the first 2 ones, you shouldn't have an issue like taking them to task to make sure he gets what he's paid.
Sloth's got the wife beater on. He's fucking taking this very seriously.
It's hot, man. It's
fucking miserable here. It's fucking cold.
Fucking let's change it up there. No, that's
my thoughts.
It's definitely not a great thing. And the other thing that I like to talk about on this podcast is that apparently there was, so from Randy Pitchford's point of view, it was misinformation, and then from most other people's point of view, it may not have been misinformation, but microtransactions in Borderlands.
Well, there's going to be microtransactions. There's going to be microtransactions in Borderlands, but it's for cosmetic shit. And I think what Randy was actually alluding to is loot boxes, which I think will be a good move if we can get a really, really big release to move away from that shit, because it is predatory. It's something that has rubbed us the wrong way for a long time.
Yeah,
but here's what it is.
I think this whole thing got got blown out of proportion.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also think that Randy needed to take a step back and actually look at his terminology and probably admit that he used the wrong terminology, because he did say there'll be no microtransactions. And let's say if you can buy in-game cosmetics, that is a microtransaction. Okay, like there's no two ways around it. There's a difference between saying, okay, there's no what do you say, premium currency? There's no loot boxes, which is a very specific thing to do, which means that there's a box of items that have a random chance of coming out. I mean, that's got its own definition, which is different from microtransactions. And I think he went up fucking off his handle on Twitter. Because GameSpot called him out, and he went, "Fucking! If you want to have some entertainment, look at the tweets responding, man." I was like, just got the popcorn. I'm like, "Oh man, this is gonna be good." And fucking Skill Up jumped in there, and everyone was just lacing up, man, and fucking throwing down. And I was like,
isn't it? I know this is fucking just a fucking thing to say, but isn't it nice when there's controversies that we don't have to deal with? They're like complete aside shit that doesn't pertain to Destiny, and you can just go, "Oh, get the popcorn out. I'll have a
get
squiz."
the popcorn, sit back,
but
have,
you know what?
Have a bit of a laugh.
I even though I think that his terminology was in the wrong, I enjoyed his passion in regards to defending his game. Like you could tell that it wasn't fucking filtered through,
5 PR reps.
A PR rep. You could tell it was just that response. And, that's not always the best way to do it. But I do appreciate that he is interacting, whether you want to see it one way or other. He is interacting with the community, as long as he learns from it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing as well. So I see it from a different perspective because I'm a negative asshole. But he's upset. He's upset by this.
Someone clip that.
He's
please.
upset. I don't. Honestly, in all honesty, I don't have anything against the guy personally. He might be a fantastic dude, and from what people are saying about walking around and signing shit and all that sort of stuff, that's awesome. I don't trust him. Business wise, I don't trust him as far as I could fucking throw him.
Yeah, he does seem like that.
Like he sees us, and this pertains to a tweet that I sent earlier on in the week, but it's just it's predatory. They AAA developers and publishers and all that sort of thing, they will lie to you. They will they'll lie to you to get $1 out of you. Anyway. And they'll use sex, nostalgia, and fucking pretty skyboxes just to do it. I'm not joking, Matt. Like that's what they do. And I don't try.
Can I say something like with this loot box thing, right? No loot boxes. Was someone just put in chat? Always boxes of loot, but never loot box.
Yeah.
What the difference is? You have to pay.
No, like boxes of loot in Borderlands, as in you walk around, open boxes. Hey, look, loot.
So there's never going to be a scenario in Borderlands 3 where you'll have to pay an item or pay for a key or pay for something to open up a box. That's what they're saying, right? Fuck, shit's going to hit the fan if it's.
I think that absolutely at a minimum has to be that. I mean, you look at Borderlands 2 and it's really only cosmetic shit for your character that you can buy. So I think if it's any more invasive than that, I think there's going to be a fucking.
That's the thing.
But you know what? Here's the thing about this cosmetics. It sort of pisses me off because I feel like we give a free pass on microtransactions for cosmetics. That was the thing that almost, I think people would argue killed Destiny 2 in the release, was that a lot of the things were transitioned from earning in-game, which provided the carrot to keep playing, and were put behind microtransactions.
Paywalls,
and it's the lesser of two evils, and people are, I think, accepting it, unwillingly accepting it because they prefer that over it being buy this gun. But the thing is, I think it really damages the game, and I'd be interested.
It does.
Does Borderlands 2 have it? Did Borderlands 1 and 2 have it?
You can buy cosmetics. You can buy cosmetics and all that. You can earn cosmetics and you can buy cosmetics, and that's the thing. Okay, so the microtransactions are only for cosmetic items. Yeah, sure. All right, cool. That's fine. And people are like, oh, you don't have to buy them if you don't want to. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But why the fuck do the developers and the publishers put them in the game if they don't want the absolute everyone to purchase them? They put the premium skins behind, like Anthem isn't a. Their Anthem definitely isn't a good.
Good game. Anyway, moving on.
It's not a good example. It's not a good example because the skins were. We'll talk about that in a bit.
I think honestly,
like they put the
all
premium
of this,
skins behind
all of this
paywalls,
harkens back to the fact that video games, for what it costs to make a modern video game, the fucking cost of them initially is out of whack, and they've got to monetize as much of everything as possible.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Okay,
agree with
so why that is such crap. Who asked these developers and publishers to put in all of the shiniest graphics, to put in build a new engine every single fucking time? No. The cost of video games is not on the people; it's on the fucking publishers for trying to. No, I will not fucking have that.
Do you understand
excuse.
what you've just? Oh, why would they go and make the graphics better, and why would they make a new engine? Because that's the selling point, right? Like,
no,
there's no
graphics are not a selling point. Graphics are not a selling point.
Fucking what planet do you live on?
The best games out there. Some of the best games out there do not have fucking fancy graphics, mate.
I know. Look, can I say something? This is. Guys, we promise we love each other, okay? But this is how we work.
this is us. This is fine. Like,
it's on.
But it's fucking on.
This is my criticism of that. And look, I haven't looked at all the numbers and that because that's often the excuse is that the costs are increasing to make video games. But I never feel that those additional profits are passed on to the workhouse, the developers.
No, they're not.
They go into the bonuses for the CEOs,
I agree
and
with
they
that.
go to the investors, and so I don't think it's going in the right direction, and that's why they do it, and so that's what and this is when Bungie went to a not small company, an indie company now. If you look at that now, I think people are actually more happy to buy microtransactions. So I think where the profits and the revenue
if
goes,
it's supporting the company,
makes a difference to people's perception.
Bungie publicly traded?
No.
Someone we had this conversation last night.
But they have investors and all that sort of.
But they'll have private investors, right?
They do have private investors
So
that
have
make
someone
money
to
and all
answer.
that sort of thing. When it comes to graphics, look at games like Dead Cells or Hollow Knight. They are critically acclaimed successes.
Fuck, man. They're not
Critically
fucking AAA titles, dude. They're fucking niche indie games.
AAA industry.
Yeah, but like,
fuck them. They're useless.
Nah, man, it's a shit argument to say that. Oh yeah, guess what? Destiny 3 comes out and it's fucking a 2D cartoon, and everyone's like, "This is cool," because I didn't want to have to pay for a fucking new engine anyway. Fuck off. It's a dumb argument. Like,
Why does it need a new engine?
It needs a new engine because it's running on the fucking Halo Reach
Why
engine.
does it need a new engine? Why?
Because
Why does it need new graphics?
Oh god! You know what?
Because
hate
it
it
looks
when
nice. Are you saying right now? Okay, if Destiny 3 isn't released until 2022, just for instance, 2022, Destiny 2 is not going to. Are you saying that Destiny 2 is not going to look good in 2022?
I'm not saying. Look, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying.
Log's point is that with growing technology and as things get better and better, there are additional costs. But I would want to see that. Is there really need for microtransactions to supplement that, or is the $60 price point always going to cover that? Like if you make a really good game and go through volume, you're going to get that. So microtransactions, I think, are a way to have a backup to make sure there's ongoing things. But I actually don't think it's not just to keep up technology. I think it's also about transitioning to a live service model, and that is a different thing altogether. And I think that is where all the
You are
investors
correct.
go towards is they want
Yeah.
people to play one game and keep on spending. I think that's a different conversation than keeping up with technology and having increased costs with new consoles or new kits or new engines and etc.
Now, don't get me wrong. Microtransactions do have a place in the video game industry. They do. They do. And it's that point. It's that point. It's that point entirely. What Matt just said. You know, if it actually goes to supplementing the game's overall profits to make the game better and doesn't go to investors' pockets. Obviously, some of it has to because they need to see a return on the investment. That's just basic business.
Yeah.
But when people put money over content and money over people's enjoyment, I know, like that right there is when it becomes like.
Hey, I got a hypothetical for you, right? Imagine if Bungie says, hey, this is what we do, right? We acknowledge that crunch time is a really big freaking issue in the games industry on a whole, right? It happens in nearly probably every company and
every industry, I'd say.
And the workers get burnt out. They work crazy hours. They feel pressured to do overtime, et cetera, et cetera. What we're going to do is we're going to use our microtransactions to get ahead of the game. If you make microtransactions, this is going to support building teams to, take pressure off the rest of the company, so we have less crunch time or something like that. You know, like,
well,
if you knew it wasn't going to fucking the CEO's, bonus at the end of the year, and you knew that it was like creating a healthier gaming industry, I think there'd be a different conversation about microtransactions and loot boxes.
People making, well, I mean, I don't actually fully understand the point that you're trying to get at.
I'm talking about what I'm saying is I think the perception of loot boxes is more negative because we know that it's just going to one person, or it's just going to the investors. If we saw that loot boxes and microtransactions were used to benefit and to grow the gaming industry in a positive way, I think there would be a better conversation around them.
Agree.
Well, I mean, I loot boxes. My gripe with loot boxes, yes, they cost money, but if you're an adult and you've got money and you're good with your money, yeah, sure, buy it, fuck it, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But the thing that I find predatory about loot boxes is the fact that it's more or less gambling.
Yeah, I hate that. I think most people fucking hate
it's
that.
It's more or less gambling. And in the video game, like the video games, the more mainstream it gets. So this probably isn't directed at you, Matt, but it's more at Log and people like Nick.
Fucking you, Log.
No. It's directed at people of the older gamer industry. The older gamer generation, where
Call me
games
old.
were.
I mean, you're right, but still.
With like back in the back, and I'm going down the path of back in the good old days of the game. No, that's not the case. But like when developers would give away half of a game, up to half of a game, so to bring people in and just go, hey, here's half of a game. If you enjoy it, why don't you try pick it up to get the last half of the game or something like that. And I've forgotten the point that I was going to make.
It's all right, mate. Me and Matt had no idea either.
It's fine.
Hey,
I'll say one last little thing on it. I think that there is a level of fluid income that a company like, and I'm talking about Bungie now, not Bungie, Activision, and all the fucking evil shit we've seen in the past. Put that aside. I think that there is a level of and saying that, I think you'll find that most people would agree that Destiny, given the amount of time that it takes to update now, could probably benefit from being at least a new iteration of its engine and things like that. So I think that shit costs money, and it is fundamental to the game growing and all that sort of shit. That's the point I'm getting at.
I don't agree with new IPs cost money. New IPs cost.
No, I get what Log's saying because Destiny is a live service, so there's ongoing cost.
We need to
it's not like they make the game and it finishes and then it's done.
Live services need to go away.
Well, I mean, that's
you're
for
on,
you to want
you're on the
Destiny.
wrong podcast, man.
Yeah, you're on the. Oh, look, hey, how about I feel
No,
like-
as in video game live services, as in the plan that Bungie has at the moment. Very like it was they tried it out, and I'll give them the respect that they tried it out, and all that sort of thing. But live services, games as a service,
Great.
Yeah,
no,
I
it
think
needs to
that,
go away.
it's great.
It needs to fucking go away.
I think that can be done right. I think
I
that
think
can
it
be done
can.
right.
I
I
don't
think
think
we're at a
it can.
learning curve. I think we're
we're at
in the learning
precipice.
curve, and we're gonna see it refined and honed. And it's
There's-
like anything else.
Okay, I've got my point back. Right, so back in the days where as Buckeye Killer with game demo CDs and all that sort of thing, when the game was released, the game was released. It was released in full. It was finished. Yes, it had some bugs, but that's what happens when you do physical print onto game discs and all that sort of thing. Now, like you see in the AAA industry, especially, but not just them, but you see in the video game industry is that people are shipping games that are half finished for full price and expecting people to wait around for the game to be finished. Case in point, Anthem. Now,
Hey,
who's
can
at
we-
fault to
can-
that? Who's at fault to that? We don't know. Not wholly and solely. We don't know.
I would like to return to the Anthem conversation because I got some stuff to say, but I want to suggest that we talk about something a bit light just to change the tone for a sec, and then we'll get back to Anthem if you like. Can we talk about Guardian Con?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought
Yes.
you'd never ask. Fucking
I thought you'd never ask.
So I am heading to Guardian Con. There are a lot of Lord dudes heading there as well. I'm going to have I think I can say this. I don't know. Anyway, we've got an art stand with me and Gamma Trap are going to be manning, and probably some other people helping. We're going to have some prints for that people can purchase, and if you want a signature on there, Gamma Trap and myself, we can sign it for you as well. But the idea we had on stream suggestions is we're going to make like the lanyards that you get, like the Guardian Con lanyards, right? Little card. We're going to make each different subclass. So if you want to pick up like a Titan striker, basically just like a small one that's going to clip onto your lanyard, and then you can have people sign the back of it when you go around meet like your favorite content creators. So we'll have each different subclass that you can have as well. So Gamma Trap's going to start designing all those, so you can come pick up like your Titan, clip it onto your lanyard, then you've got something to have signed when you're rolling through Guardian Con. So that was the idea we came up on stream.
Nice.
And there's a bunch of other stuff happening that I don't think we can announce yet. But if you are a lore nerd, I think there's going to be lots of lore nerds attending.
That's really cool, mate.
So catch you there. Please come and introduce yourself if you see me there. We'll have the awkward time of me going, I'm Matt. I mean, I'm Mylan, and then you can go, I'm Log
everyone-
I'm Doombringer 86.
I'm Doombringer
Mate.
86.
I fucking when you said that tweet out, I was just like, I've done that. I've done that.
Fucking done it.
I've done that. At EB Expo, I can't remember what year it was, but I introduced myself as, G'day mate, I'm Adam, how you going? And they're like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's in my old gamer tag, insert my old gamer tag. Oh, Sloth, how you going mate? Yeah, fucking yeah. And like, it was...
Hey,
It's so difficult, like it's so especially with Twitch nowadays, Twitch and YouTube and all that sort of thing. Like you introduce yourself and you're just like, oh, we've had conversations about this, and we're sitting, or I mean the content creators are sitting there going, smiling and just like, I don't know who you are.
Sloth just 100% pulled a smiling face out in his backyard where no one can see it. It's unfortunate.
I really did. You're right.
So
You
yeah,
are
always
absolutely correct.
introduce yourself with how people might know you, like your gamer tag. I think
Well,
that's
I mean,
the best way to go.
At Twitch, so one of our previous guests, Alpha Wolf, sends me things on Snapchat and stuff like that. So they had a Twitch meetup in Melbourne, and like they had the name tags on it, like just the stick-on nameplates that you see from Officeworks or something. And you just write your Twitch tag or your gamer tag, and just like, oh, you're fucking Log Power Slave, you're Mylan Games, like, you know, like people know then you can go, oh yeah, I know who you are. I was like, yeah. So case in
I
point,
might have
read
to
my
think
little
about
tweet.
something like that for fucking when we do PAX. I think.
Yeah, do you know what? I went to a meetup in Perth with a Destiny clan, and they all just had the little stickies, and you just wrote like your name underneath and your like your gamer tag on there, and it really got rid of a lot of the awkwardness with like like fucking remembering
Yeah,
people's names.
I'll talk to Keg. He'll design one. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I mean,
awesome, Matt.
that-
We're entering that the traditional Australian period of Guardian Con envy for not being able to go. But I think
And I'm hanging out with Man at Arms. So if I don't make
Oh.
it back, Man at Arms has killed me.
I don't think he. Listen, Man at Arms. Rick is one of those dudes. Like he's loose as fuck, but he's also very loyal. So I think you'll be safe. Your liver might not be though.
either that or you might be like a Florida man headline.
Florida man.
Florida Australian man swims in pond and gets fucking eaten by alligator.
Florida man runs over content creator with a lawnmower. I don't know. That was particularly violent. I didn't know where I was going with that. But anyway, moving on.
That's fine. But yeah, Guardian Con. So you're not going to Guardian Con, are you, Log?
No, I'm not. No, it's not this year. I'm hoping for next year, but it's just one of those. It's such a massive hype.
Expensive, man.
And it's such,
yeah,
like for Matt,
like-
this is Matt's job, where it's not my job, and I'd have to be taking time off work. But I think we're going to do our little mini Australian Guardian Con at PAX, and I think that'll scratch the itch for now.
Yeah,
at least
I
until
think
I
so.
start
For
doing it
at
bigger.
least the time being.
Yeah.
So all three of us will be at PAX. We've said this a few times. I think we've mentioned it at least once on every podcast for a couple of months. But we're all three of us are going to PAX. So if you want to come down to PAX Australia in Melbourne and meet us, we're a lot fatter in real life.
Yeah, we're fucking a lot better in real life. Do you know what we should do? We should because you can like book times to like play games and shit, and we can say that we run a podcast. Can we? And like you can, rather than having to wait in line, we can book a time to test out whatever.
You want to fucking drive it, dude? You go for it.
Yeah, you drive the bus, man. Yeah, sure.
I have a feeling this is how PAX is gonna go. It's gonna be us fucking three dickheads walking around. Looks cool. Oh, you want to get a pub? Yeah, okay. Like that, then everyone getting tanked in the pub.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. But no, good. And IEM is happening in Sydney this weekend as well. Intel Extreme Masters. If you want to go watch some fantastic video gamers do some video gamey things, that is also something that's happening. Now, Matt, you had so we were talking about this last night. Back to the Anthem thing. I know it's your favorite subject, Log, but back to the Anthem thing. Matt, as he has said on his channel and on the podcast and all that sort of thing, he had a contract with EA to do some videos for Anthem. Now that's been put on the back burner for reasons.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it last night on stream.
I've still got one more video to go, and like every time I'm like, it would get better. There'll be less drama, and I'll just slide this video out. People that enjoy it can watch it, but it's like,
squit it out like an early morning fart, mate.
It's I don't think I'm gonna get away with it.
No.
It's bite the bit, Matt. Bite the bullet. Bite the bit. Get it done.
Yeah. I mean, I've already finished it. The video's done. I'm just waiting for
some good Anthem related news.
Yeah, I think that's what they're waiting for as well. I think that they want to fix a lot of things with the game, and they want the video to go out when we have some good news. Unfortunately, it's been like, yeah, we should have some good news next week, and then it was not good news. Then we should have some good news the week after, and they release a patch, and everyone's like, it's worse than it was before.
Speaking of, so when that patch hit, like I had a whole bunch of issues with the Origin launch because it's the biggest pile of shite this side of fucking 2010. But I did play it. I played the new Stronghold and all that sort of thing. The game still, like, the combat still feels great and all that sort of thing. But I was playing the Stronghold on Grandmaster 2. I'm about in the middle of Grandmaster 2 level-wise, power level-wise. And it took 45 fucking minutes just to kill the boss.
Yeah,
like,
I heard that.
It was just bullet sponge. Just a fucking bullet sponge. And
Look,
I want the game to do well because I love the fact that it's basically Iron Man simulator, and who doesn't want to be Iron Man? But it's holy shit, man.
I think it's interesting comparing, like, you know, in a not to poke fun of it, but like to use it as a case study. It's interesting to see some of the mistakes that were made, and you know how it's not guaranteed. You can't just rely on fixing stuff post launch. And I think there was probably a big perception on like, we'll get it done, and we can keep getting it done. And this is a live service. This is an evolving game, and it's interesting. Like when you launch a game, there needs to be some foundation there that really gets people hooked. And you know, Destiny originally had a really bad launch, but there was enough hooks there that
that kept people interested.
Kept a foundation of people that were quite loyal to it. And
they did that, but it was also a full fucking release too. It was a full release. Now, this is the thing I was sort of getting uppity about.
All of its, you know, drawbacks. It was polished. Yeah. It was a polished game.
I was getting uppity about it before, but like this is the thing that really frustrates me more than anything is that when game devs, so like Electronic Arts are not it's not a small company. It's not a small company. It should have been released in a finished state. Ubisoft managed to release Division 2 in a finished state, and that is a polished state, probably one of the best AAA releases I have ever fucking seen.
I don't think EA had anything to do. From reading the Kotaku one from Jason,
EA did.
Did you read the expose from Jason?
I read the expose by Jason Schreier, and then I also read the follow-up articles from the Escapist magazine over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it wasn't all of EA's fault. It really wasn't.
It looked like it came down to management, really.
It came down to management and BioWare, but it also came down to the Frostbite engine and all that sort of thing. The Frostbite engine is definitely it's from what I've been able to garner, it's a good engine. It's just not built for anything outside of first-person shooters.
For a third-person Iron Man.
Yeah, for a third-person Iron, like you just couldn't do it. And
I'll give you that. Yeah, and you know, obviously EA would push that engine. So, but you know, like this has been an interesting experience for me. Just from a sponsor, this is like it is actually one of my first major sponsors I've had in 4 years, and it's actually allowed me to do a hell of a lot of things. With a lot more financial freedom on the channel. Like I've been topping up Gamma Trap's Patreon to make sure he gets paid more for every artwork piece that he does. So he's on an hourly rate like an employee, basically. And same with people that I've training to help me write content for the channel too, so I can get more content out while my PhD starts to get really busy. It's also, you know, allow me to take other risks, like just commit to Guardian Con and be fine with, you know, paying $2,500 for like a fucking flight. So, you know, at the same time, it's like at the very beginning, Anthem had all the elements which I thought, you know, Destiny community would enjoy. It's interesting to see that you can't really predict if a game's going to be successful or not. And, you know, you sort of have, you know, you can't say to if EA came, like I signed the contract in February or January or something like that. You know, you can't, if a company says to you, hey, do you want the sponsorship? You can't be like, oh, I'll wait 6 months, see if your game's good, and then I'll take it.
Yeah, it's about striking while the iron's hot.
Sort of, you have to take the risk and jump feet first and hopefully it pays off. And if it doesn't pay off, then well, you just sort of take the punch and you just sort of move on.
I don't want to blow too much smoke up your ass because you're an asshole. But you had Destiny 2 to fall, you had Destiny Lore to fall back on. So You know, like your channel specifically wouldn't have taken that much of a hit.
No.
When you were looking at it to begin with, it wouldn't have taken that much of a hit. Obviously, some people, some choice individuals in the law community didn't really like the fact that you took EA paycheck and all that sort of people were throwing around shill and sell out and all that sort of thing. And you know what? Fuck those people. They don't know what they're talking about. But no, it's the you jump in feet first. You got to take a chance, especially when it comes to content creation, to A, stay relevant, and B, keep on top of the bills and do the things that you want to do. Like,
you know, it's like the Borderlands thing, right? It's like all the guys going to the Borderlands event. You know, the prediction is it's going to be great because Borderlands 1 and 2 was. You know, you can say the same about Destiny 2. The prediction was Destiny 2 was going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2. Borderlands is one of the. It's a. I don't want to say it's lightning in a bottle. It's definitely not lightning in a bottle. It is a deeply ingrained and well-loved.
Yeah, they have their formula right, and they don't fuck around with it.
They have the formula right, and it's good.
Yeah.
And I mean, Borderlands 3 is Borderlands 2 with more polish, with more. Like, did you see the tweet from one of the sound design guys? The sound designs for Borderlands 3. So in Borderlands 2, there was, I want to say, random number 750 different gun sounds, 750 different gun firing sounds in the whole game across all the DLCs.
That's cool.
And in Borderlands 3, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 or something like that. I'll find the tweet and I'll retweet it on Twitter and all that sort of thing. You know, like that's the thing you got to remember. Like, they're improving on the formula, and that's cool. And people will always jump to Borderlands defense. I've had serious conversations with people in my own community. It's just like, I'm neither here nor there with Borderlands. I play it, I enjoy it, but it's like, it's not something that's going to stick in my mind like Deus Ex did way back in the day. But with Anthem, you definitely took a risk, and did it pay off somewhat? Did it not pay off? Probably. But that's the thing. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know. Maybe.
Good.
Okay, so I just saw a tweet from like David Eddings about the claptrap stuff. So I think he was an employee at the time at Gearbox. So it would be like one of the other guys jumping into the sound booth. What did you remember watching that Mortal Kombat? Who's the guy behind Mortal Kombat?
Ed Boon.
Yeah.
Ed Boon.
Did you listen to that interview with him when he explained all the characters? He did a bunch of OG like Mortal Kombat 2, like he did Jax, he did like Scorpion, Get Over Here, and all this stuff that became like iconic. And it was just like, hey, we got no fun, we got no money, just like I can go see what happens.
Get in there and do your best. Yeah.
So I think that's why it was grey. And then he asked for money to do the voice performance. And they said no. So then he's like, fuck you then.
Well, if I mean, he's well within his rights to. If you're doubling up in a normal type of job. So my wife works for a revegetation company. She is the accounts manager there, but she's also the fucking project manager. She also is the fucking front desk girl. She's this, she's that. She wears about 4 or 5 hats and gets 0 time off and only gets paid 1 paycheck. Now I fully believe that she should be paid a hell of a lot more for the amount of work that she puts in when she's putting in fucking over fucking 70 hours a week, but only getting paid for 42.
Agree. I think everyone would. I think that's, like, this is one of those things. Sorry, Slothy, you were saying?
That David Eddings, was it?
Yes.
David Eddings, if he's wearing multiple hats, or if he was wearing multiple hats, as far as I'm concerned, he should be paid for the work that he's done. Now, that is definitely not. Yeah. That's definitely not.
Any company you go to, if you do it on company time, they fucking know. And if that was not in the contract, But
if it's not in your contract, you don't get paid for it. But
there should have been a conversation when he started, when they said, "Oh, do you want to do this voice?" Then there should have been a negotiation period of like, okay, You should pay me
Now,
for this. And
voice-
so it's not entirely his fault, but you know, this is why you can't do good, fucking nice stuff for companies because they'll fuck you in the ass, man. Like your boss goes, "Oh, can you do this?" You're like, "Oh yeah, we've got a good relationship. Oh, I love this company. I love this game. Really, you know, imagine the opportunity to voice Claptrap. Yeah, I'll do a kooky voice. Like you just goof around in the lunchroom, and all of a sudden you become like iconic for the entire franchise doing Claptrap. And now you're like, well, now I've made it big. This is like, you know, doing this is like having that invention idea, right? And not patenting it. And then someone else fucking nicks it and makes money from it. It's a bit like that. It's like, yeah, he probably should have had a conversation like, hey, this is getting big now. Or not before that. This should have been, well, if you want me to do extra role, that means extra money.
But that's another thing as well. People who work in voice acting and in voiceovers specifically for games and all that sort of thing,
they get rolled.
They get reamed. They don't get looked after. So people.
Well, that's why they've got an association, right?
Well, they've got an association, but it's nowhere near like a union or anything like that. They can't just go on strike and say, "Listen, we want better pay conditions for all voice actors across the video game and anime industries."
Yeah, well, they can't do that. They clearly can't do that because then everyone will go, well, fuck that, and just get people to do it work for nothing.
Yeah, people from inside the the company that will do it. Like look at Senua's Sacrifice, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Like the girl that did Melina Jurgens, who did the voice capture and the face capture for that game. She's a video editor for Ninja Theory. She was a video editor for Ninja Theory, and they just like, we can't get someone in. So could you do it? And she has become the face of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think there's a few things that are happening here. One, that there's probably a billion fucking things like this happen all the time, every day, that we don't bat an eyelid at. It's only when they get big enough that we kind of go, hang on, stop for a second. That like there's a line there, you know. There'd be indie games that are made every day where the guy that wears 10 different hats, and that's okay. Like, it's just unfortunate that we see this kind of shit go on with something that gets to the scale of Borderlands, which is what I think we're all.
Well,
did you guys ever watch the series The Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix. You keep asking me things like this. Yeah. I don't have Netflix.
Okay, this is one of the things you would probably really enjoy. It's like it goes through the creation of the toys and how they became big. Transformers, G.I. Joe, all this kind of stuff. The reason why I bring it up, it reminded me of how the Transformers got their name. And it was
look over your right shoulder, you fuckhead.
That's what I said it, you fuckhead.
There was literally, I can't remember his role. He must have been a writer or something like that, or he was working on something. And it was 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And boss came in and goes, got it. I need you to whip up 10 names for these fucking robots. We're doing this series, right? And he was this one fucking dude, never gets credit. He gave all the fucking classic names. And it was just on a fucking Friday afternoon. Boss came, he never thought anything of it. And they sort of said to him, like, what do you think now? Like, you see these iconic and just awesome Transformers and their heart. And he wrote their name and he wrote their bio. And that led to the creation of the character. And, you know, you're seeing all the Transformers movies and everything. And it's Starscream, fucking like...
I need to watch that. You need to send me the link just for that fucking episode.
Watch the... I actually might buy Netflix just for that. So
the toys...
That sounds really good.
They go through He-Man, right. G.I. Joe, Barbie, Transformers, and I think there's one that's only like 5 episodes or something. Really, really interesting. But it's the same idea. It's like... You don't know the value of something until it goes big. And like there's heaps of shit that you do in your job and you don't know if it's going to be big or not, but you just do it because you're getting paid as an employee. But and I think that's sort of what happens.
But it's not just industry, like whether it's toy industry, video game industry, movie industry, or anything like that. Like people use lines from movies, and that becomes meme worthy for the rest of time.
Yeah.
You know, how whoever coined the fucking phrase "big chungus."
Or memes.
Imagine if they copyrighted that shit. Fuck that dude, that person, whoever
but
coined that,
that's
would
also
be
the
a
thing.
fucking squillionaire.
That's also the thing. If it was copyrighted, no one would fucking use it. So at the end of the day, it's I don't know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Mm.
Anyway,
But no,
cool
that
story.
sounds really cool. That sounds really cool.
It is surprisingly cool because it was the generation where they were creating the Saturday morning cartoons that went with the figurines.
Yep.
And they all copied that formula. So you had like G.I. Joe and they had the Saturday morning cartoon mixed with the figurines to collect. And they did it for Transformers. They did it for G.I. Joe. They did it for He-Man. Was actually the other way around. Before they made the figurines, I think they actually made the cartoon to sell the figurines. And it's a whole business model behind how they got kids.
That's pretty cool.
Just invested in these like fucking iconic toys. It's really cool.
Well, it's not even iconic toys either. Like see over my left shoulder there. Like I've got all these pops. I've got like a cupboard full of pops over here as well. Like you don't need to have a background to jump straight into that sort of thing. And I think my first one was Noble 6. My first pop that I ever bought was Noble 6 from Reach. And I was just like, oh, this looks pretty cool. All right, so I picked it up, and then it's turned into that, and it's turned into an obsession. Like, you don't need that background to get into it either. Oh my lord! Like, just look at over Log's shoulder there. Like, he's got all the Transformers. He's got a Deadpool pop that sits in front of him that tells him to do bad things, and like it's
it fucking works
and Matt's got a fucking hammer and Crota pops and Destiny shit all over there, like because he's a nerd, Like
I think think that was the sort of invention of popular culture for the sake of popular culture, though, right? Like it all started, right? Like that's
it was interesting to see like how ruthless the toys industry. It was like the guys I interview. It's like it's almost like the tobacco industry. It's so fucking ruthless,
selling
and it's
crack
like,
to kids.
and they're selling toys, and they're so fucking ruthless with it. It's really good. Anyway, I'll stop banging on about it, but I think you enjoy it.
So, I did watch pretty much all of the reveal for Borderlands 3, and I thought that after having played a little bit of Borderlands 2 in recent time, I think that there's a serious sort of commendation I'd like to give out of carrying over the tone, right? And I think that that's something that we saw a bit of a disconnect between Destiny and Destiny 2, right? Like just to marry the two things that, the closest to home example I can think of. Do you think that...
Wait, hold on. So you're saying the tone is good in Borderlands 3?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for better or worse, the tone is the tone, right? Like that is what it is. What it is.
That's what Borderlands. That's like
it's
Borderlands.
It's Borderlands.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
it's
Borderlands.
It's Skull.
Said that heaps weird. Anyway, for mine, I think that there was a lot of that reveal that, I mean, aside from everything else that went with the reveal, like having fucking 1,000 people stream it or whatever the fuck happened, it has set a new benchmark for gaming reveals, right? And confidence.
Do you mean people like me starting up a stream and like watching it together with my community? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean like people watching their live stream?
As in 2K flying
streamers out there and letting them live stream it as the gameplay reveal.
So
that was interesting.
Tev streamed it. Jay Sniperton fucking streamed it. Patrick Static streamed it. Like Chinglish from over here fucking streamed it. Like,
so can I clarify? So were they live on their own Twitch channels as well as a feed going into 2K's?
I don't know. I think they were just live on their own channels.
I don't know if they were going on to 2K's, but
when I watched it, they were whoever was it 2K's Twitch or whoever's Twitch it was, whatever the official Borderlands one was. It was probably Gearbox, was it? They would have like Gathalion. They could tune into Gathalion's stream, but it would be coming through like Gearbox.
And they could switch
to.
They were multi. Yeah, right. So it was just a monitor capture or an OBS capture of the capture of the OBS. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
I
think
think
they
they
were
were
doing
also
that.
through their own channels too, right? So it was like a
Yeah.
they were
if
through
you
their own
want- yeah.
channels, but then if you just wanted to, like, if you didn't want to watch Cathalion stream it, or
The whole
Brian
time.
stream
You could
it,
watch
you could
their
just go to
overarching
2K and just go.
coverage.
Yeah,
And
that's
people
what I
look
saw
like they
anyway.
were really enjoying it, and that's cool. A lot of these content creators got their start, especially on Twitch.
The beginning, right?
got their
Borderlands.
got their start in Borderlands,
Yeah.
and Borderlands 2. And that's fantastic. A lot of Destiny casters started over there as well. That's
Yep.
I mean that's that
Yeah,
is
I mean,
what
when
it
you-
is, but
When you look
I'm
at
looking forward to
Destiny, there's kind of two groups merged to make the Destiny community. One is the looter shooter crew that came from Borderlands and other more MMO sort of backgrounds, and the other is the Halo side, which is where I've really come from. I think most of the
Yeah.
people
Same.
my mates came from that side, but it was interesting to get the perspective, at least on like DCP before, and people who've been long-term Borderlands fans, that, you know, like for them, they felt that it was like a solid, really, really solid next step with, you know, a lot of things that were like the small stuff, like the gunplay had been improved and the way you move through the environment had been improved, but they hadn't reinvented the wheel. They just improved things, and like considerable improvements over time. Just taking the real, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but improve it. You know, like that's fine. I thought in that front they've absolutely, you know, at least what they've shown so far has nailed it. So I'm actually more excited coming out of the back of that than I was for it. I sort of played Borderlands 2 the other night, and it was like, at the end of the day, I don't think it's ever going to be the kind of game that I am like besotted with, because there's parts of it that I find genuinely fucking annoying. Maybe that's something that I'll find to a lesser extent.
What annoys you? What are the parts that you don't like?
I don't. I mean, like having to go through and like minutely inspect every single gun that I'm given 30 of for every mission, I find fucking exhausting. So maybe that's the looter shooter genre for me. Is, you know, like Destiny is pretty condensed in that respect. Like you get one drop and you go, is that better or worse? No, all right, I'll dismantle it. And for the most part, you're not like looking through 15 different guns to try and like get a handle of what's good. But I was probably coming at it from a Destiny perspective in that I was looking at every gun like every gun was going to be the be all end all, where most of the time it's, you know, you're going to get something that'll come along and fucking you improve on it within half an hour anyway. And everything's a bit more throwaway than that. The only other thing that really annoyed me is just the fact that every fucking enemy is constantly yelling and fucking talking at you all the time. And
All
just
the time.
yelling fucking gibberish. Like if I want to be surrounded by like a fucking 30 inbreds all screaming gibberish at me, I'll go to Queensland, not play Borderlands. So fucking, you know, like it's overwhelming.
I could
and
see
you
that
can't,
coming from over the top of Castle Hill, you fucker.
yeah, it's all good. And like for me, it was just, that was, I don't know. That's one of those things that's the tone. Like it's all chaotic and all that sort of shit. But I found that genuinely fucking annoying. And it's not like they yell anything that's of substance. It's just all like two different voices all just yelling, I'm gonna kill you.
I think I'm going to go in pretty fresh to Borderlands.
Yeah.
Red. Like I thought about playing Borderlands and Borderlands 2. And I thought, nah, I just can't be bothered. I'm just going to go in with like no expectations, and
Yeah, I think it's a
I'll
wise move.
probably stream it too, actually, and just sort of learn as I go.
No,
And
you won't.
yeah, on YouTube, not on Twitch.
Fuck off, you. You're no, you fucking.
You know
Listen to
what?
Sloth.
I've been doing. I've
Bit
You
of
been
don't
sloth.
even know how to turn on OBS without me, Matt.
I've been. Oh, by the way, I've got more shit to say about YouTube. Fuck YouTube, man. They keep changing shit with the live streaming, and it's absolutely bullshit. It is
YouTube
fucking
changes the
ridiculous.
goalposts every fucking day. All right. Anyway, go on.
No,
What's
I'm
your-
not gonna- I
no,
get too
finish
angry.
your thought process on Destiny.
Borderlands.
No, I was
Oh,
gonna say-
Borderlands, brother.
I was gonna say, I've been live streaming, and I've just been reading the lore books. In fact, like I really enjoy reading them on stream because it's really fun to talk about the lore and people point stuff out that I missed and that kind of thing. But my God, if you sit down and just read for 4 hours, like read a bedtime story to fucking 200 people, it's really exhausting. So I might be enjoying just shooting stuff.
Well, that's why people stream themselves playing games, Matt. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Because it's easier than just reading for an
I
entire...
had one person come in and said, "When are you going to play a game?" I said, "Mate, this is the wrong stream for you." And he just left. Whatever.
So, the other day before you crack on YouTube being a fucking prick again. But I was streaming myself build a cat tower like that one there over my left shoulder. Because I moved my office around and cat tower coming in. And I was in the IRL directory because any other place for building shit on Twitch. And it started off really, really nice, really fucking, really sort of wholesome and all that sort of thing. We were being lewd as fuck, and everyone was having a laugh. And people come in. I was wearing this singlet, and people come in and going, "Oh, your singlet's a bit too fucking small, mate. Oh, what's going on, big chungus?" And this, that, and the other. And I was just like, I'm honoured. I'm actually honoured that people feel the need to come into stream and berate me for no reason. But the one that the takeaway from this that really made me laugh is that someone comes in and goes, "What is this fucking budget DJ Khaled?" Oh god, it tickled me. That really did.
Budget.
Cheeseburger, another one. And I was just like, oh my god, Bree, get rid of them. All right, Matt, tell me about YouTube. Tell us about YouTube, my friend.
Okay, get this right. So YouTube's making this transition to a new dashboard. So you have fucking 3 options now for where you start your live stream from. Okay, you can either go through the original dashboard and there's live streaming. In the original dashboard, there's also it's called live events, the same shit. And then you can go through the new beta dashboard, which also has live streaming. Okay. So I'm thinking, I wonder which one gives out better notifications, because it's
none of them, because it's YouTube.
It's nothing, apparently. Interesting thing, right? So I've got a YouTube manager, which I can ask questions to. And I had this really big dip of unsubscribes. And she said, "Did you stream that day?" I said, "Yeah, I streamed." She said, "Was it the first time you streamed in a while?" I said, "Yeah, it was." She said, "That's really normal." She says, "YouTube pushes out the notifications for live streaming, if you haven't done it in a long time, to like way higher percentage of your subscribers than they would for a video. And what happens is people that normally don't watch your content actually see the notification, and what they do is they unsubscribe because like, oh, I don't watch that guy anymore." She's like, "Don't panic. It just means," and that was that day I had like a fucking 1,000 people watching. It was nothing to do with what I was doing. It was actually YouTube sent a notification like it fucking should to the people. And when I did that kind of live stream, it was like 1,000 people watching. And then now, right? Now I did a live stream. It used to show up at the top of your homepage. It used to show up on if you went to Marlin Games, you could see it at the top.
Yep.
With their new dashboard, I don't fucking know where it goes. I don't know what link to give people. So I have it right on my tablet. That's how I read the comments. Is I actually click on my own live stream, and I have the tablet up here, and I can see the comments coming through. I couldn't find my own live stream, and I fucking know that I'm live streaming.
What's your fucking live stream? What the fuck?
See,
how ridiculous is that?
When you go live, I usually have an alarm set for 10 o'clock because I get up and feed the animals, that sort of thing. And I come in here and I turn on YouTube and open up a tab for it. And yeah, not this current stream that happened on Thursday, but the last time you live stream, I couldn't find your live stream. It took me 25 minutes to find it. I was like, I was clicking through all the pages.
Did you just click on a video and it came up in recommended?
Nope. So I did that. I clicked through your latest videos. I was like, it should come up on the top right here. No, not there. Okay, another video. No, all right. Went through, showed all videos. What the fuck? Playlists, nothing. I had to go to your channel, go to your previously recorded videos, use the filter to go to live streams, currently now, then it showed up. And I was like, that is the fucking most ass backwards shit I have ever seen.
Yeah. And so Mr. Dynasty, people will have to use the link now to get to the live stream. That's how little visibility. The way that I had to find my own live stream is I had to click on one of my old lore videos, like I did last week, and then in the recommended, it came up with Mylan Games is live now. Like, no shit, I'm I'm the streamer.
I can see OBS. I know that I'm live. Oh my lord!
So that's one thing. The second thing, right? And
It's a pretty big thing, Matt.
I actually gave this to the live stream service at Google. I actually gave it to my manager to pass on to them, right? So, right, every streamer knows you get your OBS, right? You have a stream key, you plug that in, and you press live, and then you're live. For whatever reason, YouTube has added an extra step, which is ironic because this new dashboard is meant to make everything easier. But once you click go live in your OBS, you then have to click go live in your YouTube dashboard. But for some reason, there's this bug where if you wait too long, it just sends notifications to people like YouTube Premiere or YouTube live event schedule. So I hadn't pressed go live in my YouTube dashboard. I hadn't pressed go live in my OBS. And then all of a sudden, I see the fucking chat filling up. People are like, hello, hello. I'm like, how the fuck did you guys get here? I haven't pressed live. And then I said, oh, this little thing popped up saying Mylan's about to stream. I'm like, yeah, but I haven't encouraged that in any way or shape or fashion. And it's because I changed the setting and it basically thought that I pressed the go live button because I updated my stream key. It thought I pressed go live, even though I hadn't pressed it in the dashboard. And I said to them, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, oh, we'll look into it. And then they're like, is it a major inconvenience? I'm like, well, I sort of don't want people going into the stream until I'm ready because then I had to rush all my tweets and get all my Discord shit ready and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, it's a mess. It's an absolute
Just play music. Just play music, mate. That's fucked.
It's an absolute fucking mess.
That is a shit fight.
Oh, on top of that, guess what? They changed the stream key every time you make a new stream.
I was going to ask
fucking
you that.
Facebook does that.
Make you change your stream key every time. So this is the thing. You've got things like YouTube, Twitch and Mixer that set your stream key. You're the only one who has your stream key. There you go, done. And then you open up your Twitch dashboard or your Mixer dashboard, and you go, yep, title, go live notification, tags, OBS, go. That's it. Basic. It is fucking basic. How Google don't understand or how they get away with this or why they do this is ridiculous.
You know why? It's because I just feel like a prerequisite to being on any fucking team that's involved with this kind of product, you need to have been a streamer at some point in your life. You need to know what it's like.
Understand have an intimate knowledge of what the deal is.
Or if you don't have that knowledge, this is like why you need to run. Yeah, this is why you need to run fucking summits and feedback and this kind of stuff and get.
Have you seen the YouTube channel? They don't even know what their own fucking platform does, let alone fucking what the community wants.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? This is the thing on my behalf as well. I actually need to make sure that I give this feedback and not just whinge about it. So like I need to make sure that so I wrote this big long email and I was like, this whole go live in dashboard just makes no sense to me. It adds an extra step and I don't understand why I have to click start stream and end stream in a dashboard when I've got OBS doing it. And my prediction, and this is my fucking prediction for this is part of them future proofing when they get to the point of doing what's the Google thing? What's the Google live when they announce
the
streaming the games? So do you remember when they added to it? Yeah, they added to it that you will be able to live stream using their service. Mm-hmm. So you won't need to run OBS. You won't need to do it because you'll be playing the game off them as well, right? And I reckon this is why the dashboard's changing. You don't need to have OBS going. You just start playing your game from them. You click start stream and they distribute it for you. And then you click end stream. And that's what
So
it seems
instead
like.
of-
Because it's so weird to have those buttons in a platform when you don't need it. It's redundant.
Where
Why
the
would you add
fuck-
redundancy
Oh,
to your
man.
fucking platform?
instead of using an open source, a free and open source product like OBS that you can support off your own bat as a content creator, or XSplit or one of the other streaming providing thingos, they have to reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the wheel. Why?
Okay, I got
YouTube,
one more
why?
thing. I'm sorry this has been a massive vent thing, but this one,
That's fine.
this is
I'm
a
going to open
fucking,
chat, start firing away with questions while Matt has his final
this-
cathartic bitch. Oh, hang on.
this is a fucking doozy, right? So I don't think any of this is confidential. It shouldn't be. It should be public knowledge, whatever. YouTube Premium,
Blue.
YouTube Premium, right? It's like gives you access to their version of Netflix originals. They have their own sort of videos on there, and you don't have any ads played on videos. And you can also just play the audio from a video with your phone closed, right? So I could open up your video, I could lock my screen, and I can still listen to it. So I could listen to I always listen to like Joe Rogan podcast, right? I just put it on, and I don't need to see the audio feed for the video feed, and it just still plays through your phone.
Yep.
No ads on it either. So I said, in my analytics, I've got some money coming through that's called YouTube Premium. So how does that work? How do they do the calculation? Because the ads aren't running on this, but surely I must get a percentage of the YouTube Premium fee. So that person pays $15 a month to YouTube. There must be a percentage that comes my way. No one in their office knew the formula. They had to go to head office. They had to go to the fucking engineers and ask, how do we calculate ad revenue for YouTube Premium for content creators? And the formula makes fucking zero sense. I could probably find it for you and read it. It is fucking so bad. It is like the percentage of total views times by watch time times by fucking how many other channels. And I said to the lady, what the fuck does this mean? And I said, I think this is what it means. If they only watch Myling Game, I think I get like 20% or something of it. But if they watch Myling Games, Log Power Slave, Real Time Sloth, obviously all of their premium shit has to be cut amongst all the content creators. So my point is, if YouTube Premium actually took off, if YouTube Premium actually was as big as they wanted it to do, it would have fucking killed the entire platform. If the majority of people signed up to YouTube Premium, the impact on ad revenue would have been so great, all the small guys would have just been fucking wiped out, and it would have been gone towards commercialism, would have been gone to all the big companies that can afford big sponsors and can have high quality production. It would have literally been the ultimate apocalypse on YouTube.
So I shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be surprised by this,
How fucked
because
is that?
YouTube huffs their own farts, legitimately. But that is legitimately shocking.
Sloth's just Sloth's skull fucked. He's gone.
And
so if basically what you said is as said in the chat. So if one of you guys in the chat or one of you guys on YouTube, if you're watching, say if you have YouTube Premium and you only watch the three of us, first of all, you're going to get a rather large headache because you're going to have to put up with my voice and Log's voice. But second of all, our cuts of your YouTube Premium payment is split of the 20. Our 20% is split between the three of us, and YouTube takes the 80.
So the standard revenue is they take 60% regardless. That's what they do on ad revenue. I'm just trying to find the email now. But the thing is, the manager was really nice, right? And I said to her, because I guess what I was trying to get to.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and I said, this is really bad. And she said, yeah, it is. And I said, I said to her,
It's fucked.
I should not advertise YouTube Premium. I should not support this system. She's like, no, you shouldn't. It's not in your best interest to support YouTube Premium.
Anyway, Moreland Games
fuck.
podcast is going to be free.
So that, and then I'm not. I shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be surprised. This is the company that let NBC, after Jimmy Fallon did a Beat Saber playthrough on his show Nighttime with Jimmy Fallon or whatever it was, and then NBC started copyright claiming every single YouTuber who has done Beat Saber content over the last God knows how many years of games out, just because Jimmy Fallon did it on his TV show.
I'm gonna give a
that
gold
company.
star. So this is the official. I'm gonna give a gold star to anyone who can work out this for me. Ready?
Okay.
This is my YouTube Premium.
Can you?
Google will pay you 55% of the net subscription revenues that are attributable to that subscription content pool, multiplied by the share of monthly watch time as a percentage of watch time, total or representative sample of participating content in that content pool. What does that mean?
It means basically that anything you could earn is being divided among the people who also could earn it. It's reductive.
That's what I got from it. It
Reductive,
means the net subscription, you get 55% of the net subscription divided by everyone who is within that content pool. So that means if you watch fucking 200 channels, that 55% is divided amongst 200 people. So $7.50, which would be half of the $15 a month, divided by 200 people. That is not equivalent to ad revenue.
YouTube, what the fuck?
It's pretty crazy. Yeah?
Anyway,
What the fuck?
no premium, thank you. Just stay the fuck away from that.
Don't do YouTube Premium, please. The whole
Yes,
system.
I love it.
Give it a rest. All right. Well, if anyone's got any questions, now's the time. Otherwise, I'm going to get Sloth to wrap this motherfucker up because I am just YouTube doom and gloom does my head in.
I'm sorry I hijacked that.
No,
but
it's fine. It's like it needs to be spoken about, and you need to get it off your chest, and it's absolutely fine. It is just absolutely fucked. And it's
But
like
here's the thing: as a content creator, like there's so much stuff in my dashboard that I don't understand, and it actually is really amazing that they give you a YouTube manager, and I've been able to ask these questions. I'll be like, so what does it mean when you adjust the ad rate at the end of the month? Well, that means we account for spams. Do we know that number? No, you don't get that number. Okay, well, all right. Well, now I know. And it's been really interesting to at least just have a really honest conversation. There's nothing against. There's a lot of people that work for Google, right? And there's a lot of people that look after content creators, and most of those people want to do the right thing. But there are just decisions like this that would have been catastrophic because it had zero empathy for what their platform is and looking after content creators.
But you're lucky, mate. You're lucky.
I am. Yeah.
The people in your situation are lucky that they have people you can ring up and go, hey, Linda, hey, fucking Tanya, you've got. Okay, I'm having issues with this.
Yep.
We were talking about this last night. We got issue. I got issues with this. Can you explain it? But like if let's say I don't know, fucking I went back onto YouTube content creation.
Hold on. People are saying about membership. No, sorry. This is memberships and premium is different. There's a different system. Memberships is much more straightforward. Like if you subscribe to me as a YouTube member, that's fine. Premium is a service that YouTube offers. Memberships are great.
Yeah, so you don't get ads and all that sort of thing. So
I still get.
I would actually
absolutely rolled by Google and my. I
would actually go as far to say
YouTube Premium.
I would actually just go as far to say if you want to support your favorite YouTube content creator, give them a membership, just like you would on Twitch with a sub. And then use ad block for everything else.
I mean,
like quite legitimately, if watching shit on YouTube, unless it's a stream like Matt's stream, or I wouldn't recommend using ad block on any of Matt's videos because then he doesn't get paid. But you sign up for a membership. Don't sign up for YouTube Premium or YouTube
Yeah.
Red, but sign up
Yes.
for a membership because that goes to him.
Yes.
There
Because
we go.
that is, you get 40%, or I get
Yeah.
40%.
The fact that it's 40,
YouTube takes
when
60%.
is Twitch going to be allow you to upload, like to have a full system
video service.
video system that's similar to YouTube? Because I guarantee you
It'd
that
slaughter
even though
YouTube
Amazon,
in weeks.
like
It
Amazon definitely have their work cut out for them, and some of the decisions they made are completely fucking ass backwards. That being said,
Surely it's got to be an infrastructure thing. Surely they're just fucking like, how many
don't have the
warehouses can we
bandwidth.
buy? How many warehouses can we buy and fit fucking PCs in there? Like, I don't know how you run a server, but I imagine it's just big fucking warehouses with like, I don't know. Is that what happens? I don't know.
it's like a server
How,
farm.
anyway,
It'd just
how
be a
do you
server
host
farm.
billions of fucking video?
a question from Mr. Green 16. Thank you very much. If they bring it back trials, will it save D2 Year 3?
No.
D2 Year 3 doesn't need saving. First of all, it doesn't need saving. This content, the content for the Season of the Drifter, for me personally, is it's a bit dry, but it's not. It hasn't killed the game. When people say it's a dead game on YouTube or comments or Twitch or fucking Twitter or Facebook or fucking MySpace and fucking Instagram, you know what? They're just jealous because they're not having fun in their own game. So they want to try and make it fucking bad for everybody else. Trials is not the thing that will save Destiny 2 PvP.
No, I think
If-
Bungie
if
know
you
that,
are
and
looking-
that's why they're working on something different. And they've said
Yeah,
that, and
it's-
it's not going to be in the
they've
scope
said-
of this season. So,
Yeah,
I think this whole squeaky wheel gets the grease shit will just not happen in this respect. Like, I don't think Bungie are going to give in now and bring back trials. I do not think that's the way it's
No.
going to go. And I think that I don't think it's what the game really needs either. I think the game actually, as we were talking about last week, needs a better structure. Could trials play part in that? Yeah, but I don't think trials is the long form solution to what ails Destiny's PvP climate at the moment.
And a question from the Destiny show. Thank you. Destiny bringing on third-party studios to work on annual pass and smaller DLC content. Good idea or bad idea? Well, no, because cost-wise, from a business perspective, bringing on High Moon Studios, although they did fantastic work and Vicarious Visions did fantastic work with what they did.
VV are doing Season of Opulence.
They are doing Season of Opulence.
Wait, you don't like the idea of it, Sloth?
No, I really like the idea of it, but from a business perspective, to only do a season worth of content, for an external studio, the cost versus what you will get.
You've got no idea about the business side of it. We shouldn't probably be saying things like that. Especially coming from the dude who's like, we shouldn't improve games. We should stay on the same engine forever because otherwise we're fucking.
Hey, mum and dad, don't fight again. Look, I think there's nothing wrong because what happens is they get a team lead, right? They get a leadership from Bungie that goes over to the studio and they collaborate with the other team lead at that studio. And there's nothing different from doing that and contracting in people to write code and do art design and whatever. I don't think there's anything really structurally different from running that, as long as that those leaderships are aligned with the value of what they're trying to produce in that content. I don't think there's any real negatives. The only thing that probably comes to mind is that if things are missed in interpretation, like maybe story stuff, or that they didn't have enough support from Bungie, as long as Bungie gives them the support they need, I don't think there's anything wrong.
I think that's on the money.
Well, as Jug said, it's cost prohibitive. As someone who actually works in large business, it is cost prohibitive, and they're better off expanding. Now, it's not.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would allow more time for focus on Destiny 3, and this is another question that the Destiny show asked a little further back. Do you reckon that they'll bring in new content post September straight away, or will they wait until 2020?
I think they're gonna wait, man. Do you think they're gonna? I don't know if they want to compete with Borderlands straight away. Not that they would have made that decision already, but
Christmas release period is always full of really big titles like your Battlefields and your fucking Call of Duties and all that sort of thing, and I just don't know if it's worth. I don't know if it's worth trying to compete with that by releasing a content for a game that's 3 years old.
Yeah, I actually agree. I actually think they'll be better off to sit on it and let people. This is like your high school girlfriend, or you just go out and have a summer off. Like
treat them mean, keep them keen.
If you still love me, come back. Like let people have the summer off, or winter, depending on what side of the world you. Let people have the winter or the summer off and play all those other games that have come out during that time, and really cook Destiny 3 for what it really needs to be, and come back with a vengeance. Give people a bit of time to play around. I actually think that would be a good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Apart from not having income, that's probably not a very good business strategy. But I think in regards to, making sure the game's ready to come out and making sure people,
it really depends on how much.
Flocks.
It depends on how much money's in the coffers for Bungie anyway.
Let's make some assumptions. Fuck.
Well, no, I'm not going to assume how much money's in the coffers, but I reckon it would be a great idea for mental health of their employees. Now, I'm not sure how bad crunch is. Crunch is something that exists in the video game industry.
They've
and
got
it
an
needs to go away, but
enormous philosophy around trying to avoid it. They're industry leader in that respect.
Yeah,
and that's really good. And if they have to take instead of new content coming out in October, if they have to wait until February the following year, it's okay. And if they just do smaller releases until then, cool. Releases that they're already working on. Now, from a personal perspective, I think that they're while Season of the Drifter was going on, they're working on Season of Opulence. Like, does that make sense? So they're still building Season of Opulence in Season of the Drifter, but they're focusing on other things as well.
Yeah, they're working
extra time
parallel.
Yeah, extra time to work on whatever the next iteration of Destiny is, whether it's a Taken King-esque expansion for 2020 or whether it's Destiny 3. It doesn't really matter. More time means a more polished release. Yeah. And if they can stop listening to the fucking squeaky wheels and just make the best Destiny that they can make, I reckon it'll be quite good.
Yeah. Go on. But I hadn't really thought about. I agree with Jugzilla's comment about the impact. I was probably speaking more about the outcome of the game rather than the impact of the company stuff and the difference between contracting and expanding. It's an interesting conversation about that. I know not too much about it, but I see them in WA, mining, or in Australia in general, mining's really big, and seeing how much money they do. Contractors, man, just fucking.
But they the contractors in a mine site can pick a price out of the air and charge what they want.
It's not quite that bad, but yeah, it is. There's an element of that.
Well, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. And it really also depends on the success of Season of Opulence, on whether they're going to push out just the seasonal events like the one that's currently going, like the Dawning and shit like that, or if they're going to bring in like a Sparrow Racing League again and just for the end of D2. That'd be nice.
I can tell you right now, Sparrow Racing League is never coming back.
You reckon it's dead in the water?
Yeah. They've basically alluded to the fact that not enough people actually participated in it for it to matter. Like the cost of building and like all the maps for it far outweighed how many people played it. So, that's effort reward. There's no reason for them to do it.
I tell you what, put some rockets and some lasers on my Sparrow, and I'll play Sparrow Racing League like Mario Kart from 19.
So you want Carmageddon, for lack of a better term.
I'll take that.
Kart.
And look, do that and add some ragdoll effects. I'm sure that's not hard.
Yeah,
We've already got the ragdoll. Just
Oh, no,
do
hang on. We're not allowed to spend any money on the engine, Matt. Sorry, we're not doing that.
Oh, stop taking what I said and blowing it out, it out of proportion.
He's like a
Oh,
dog
mate,
on a bone at the moment.
I'll take what you said and blow it out your ass. That's about it.
Sparrow Combat League, exactly.
Yeah, Sparrow Combat League and shit like that. But they could utilize some of the bigger maps that they don't use, that aren't in the rotation anymore. They could utilize some of those maps.
Could they though?
I reckon they could. I mean, Vostok would make a very small track. But just imagine the fucking chaos of a Sparrow Combat League type of situation on that map. You know, I reckon it would be quite good. But anyway, like it depending on how the success of Season of Opulence goes, I reckon it will probably really define Bungie's, like, absolutely cement Bungie's next move.
Because it's interesting. Because I don't think putting resources into, because I think there's like two choices, right? Do we keep doing these like quarterly releases and put time and resources into that, or do we like take a breather and really make the next thing?
Well, personally,
and you could maintain your audience, and like that would be the safe plays. Maintain the players we've got, but keep doing the quarterly releases. With one big, or do we like sit on it and like try to really win back the people that left?
I think Destiny is always going to attempt some kind of ongoing game. I think that much is clear. It always has.
Just how big it is.
But do I think that Destiny as a game would be better off if they took an extra amount of time and made sure that Destiny 3 was exactly what they wanted it to be? Fuck yeah. And I think you'd find it hard for anyone to disagree with that. Whether or not that means, how much downtime that means for us, I really don't know. And I think that's the knife edge that they've got to balance on, right? They don't want to...
From a... Oh, mate, sorry.
You're right, man.
From my perspective, I thought the previous DLC track that they were on with half yearly releases and comment releases and shit like that was a much better system. I really don't like the annual pass personally. It's constant content, but the content that they're producing, at least for me, is not.
Yeah, I hear.
It doesn't have enough for me. Not for anybody else. For me, it's not enough for me to go, hey, shit. Like it's not an Age of Triumph where they're redoing everything in the game and make it all worth doing. Okay, that's my thought process. When you've got people like and CG, people like Carolina Gamer and Glad and all those sort of guys, they're making use of like doing all raid bosses, no weapons, all kills and shit like that. Like they are the absolutely highly talented, insane people of the community who can do that. That's cool.
Before we finish up, we missed the most important news of this whole entire week.
What is that?
The Sonic trailer.
Oh god,
fuck, man.
I don't know what annoyed me more.
See you next week, boys.
Actually, we missed the most important thing that came out of this week is that me and Matt both went to see Endgame, and Sloth is conclusively fucking wrong about it being average. So there's that.
See you next week, boys.
Yeah, right. I'm going to wrap it up. Any closing comments?
No, I liked what I liked, and I thought the bits were average. The average bits were average.
I think we've proven multiple times that even if Destiny does not give us anything to speak about, we get 2 hours.
Yeah, we could keep going, but it just basically turns us into us baiting each other and fucking. I love you, Salty. Fucking idiot.
How about this? Do this. All right, this is my homework for everyone. I've got homework this week. Okay. for your loved ones and partners who maybe are not into gaming as much as you, or maybe not into the meme scene as much, what I did to Danny is I said, "Oh, have you seen the new Sonic trailer?" And she's like, "No." And because we're pretty excited for Detective Pikachu, so I showed it to her. And she sort of thought that I was excited about it. And I just wanted to see what an unbiased reaction to Sonic was. And she was like,
I showed Rage last night.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's okay. Everyone hates it." She's like, "Oh my God, I thought you liked it." That's your homework. Show the Sonic trailer to someone who hasn't seen it and pretend like you like it and see what they say.
Yeah. The extra points if you film yourself doing it.
my girls, they don't do the video game. Like they don't do video games or anything like that. But they do like Sonic. I had a Nintendo 64 hooked up to the TV and all that sort of thing. And not a Nintendo 64, a Sega. Not a Nintendo, a Sega. I can't remember what it's called now. The one where the Sonic 3 was on. Sonic 3. So is that Sega Genesis? I think it's a Genesis. Anyway, they played it, and I'll do that. I'll show them, and I'll attempt to video them. And I have a suspicious feeling that they will probably go, "Fuck off, Dad."
and then you show them like how the internet corrected it, and they'll be like, "Oh my!" Danny was like, "Oh my God, yeah!" And then I was like, "Why does he have human teeth?" He's like, "Yeah, that's wrong."
You
and
know
yeah.
You know that the producers have come out and said that they're changing it before they release it, right?
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like,
and
I've seen the theory doing the rounds that they knew that they were going to get this backlash, and it's like a troll fucking thing. Like, I don't know. I assume that
it's not fucking bad.
It's not a fucking. You know what? I will fucking stand and applaud if that is the actual sack that they've managed to sum up and take that path with this. But I can't see it being real. That's fucking flat earther shit.
That is flat earther shit. Yeah, Australia doesn't exist with just a bunch of actors. Like,
I mean, that's true. Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've legitimately talked about everything that we're quite passionate about over the last couple of hours. So thank you very much for hanging out. If you want to join the conversation, add us on Twitter at DDU Podcast, DDU_podcast, at Mylan Games, at LogPowerSlave, at Realtime Sloth. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to jump in, just let us know. Just tell us what you think of the podcast. Tell us if we're wrong or we're silly on the things that we've spoken about today. We really want to know. Mm-hmm. To our live viewers, thank you very much for hanging out. To Log, because he doubled up on podcasts, and yeah, speaking for this long, it does take a fucking toll out of you, especially if you're not drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
It might have affected some of my usual patients, maybe.
And guys, if you're on YouTube and you haven't hit that subscribe button or the bell, make sure you hit them. You probably won't get a notification or anything like that, because YouTube is fucking rubbish.
Follow the Twitter.
Hit the notification bell, but it literally means nothing, and they'll still curate it.
So just
whatever.
Hit the subscribe button and then just search for us in your sub box. We upload every Saturday around this time, and go from there. And you'll find the link on Twitter as well. And to our audio only listeners, thank you for listening to us on your way to work, your way home, on the gym, or if you're just sort of sitting there on the couch scratching your balls.
You're on the Danny. I think that's my favourite part of the podcast is like finding out where people listen to this week. Tell us where you listen to the podcast. Whether you're at work, wherever. I don't give a shit.
To the podcast.
I guarantee a lot of it starts on the fucking dunny.
Yeah.
You know what?
And I mean, I can't think of a greater inspiration to shit than some of the garbage. Just some of the fucking rubbish we talk on this show, just fucking straight out the back end. Fuck this.
All right. I don't know. Have you got someone to host, Log, or are you gonna?
Oh, just give me a quick swizzle. I'll find someone to host into. Yep.
Satisfying poo today. Yeah, guys, let us know where you listen to the podcast on YouTube and all that sort of thing. And as I said, if we've missed anything or if you want to add to the conversation, let us know there. And Thank you very much for continually supporting us.
The law will find you, and it takes the form of a toddler wearing a blue jumpsuit that tries to look like Sonic with human teeth and really fucked up eyes.
It's just that one still of it there. The shot, I can't even do it. The fucking anyway. All right, live in fear. See you next week.
Hey,
Bye.
Peace.